All right, man, Torture Talk. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing out there? Hope y'all feeling great. Hope y'all feeling good. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about, did GNX actually, was that actually a Drake album done right? You heard me right. Was GNX actually a Drake album done right? Before I get into that, I got to get my spill. This is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're new here, let me work for your subscription today. All the beautiful, single, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know where to find the ones that just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content absolutely free. But if you want to leave a donation, links is in the description. Cash App, no more PayPal. They call me the Hidden Gem. Went from 1,300 subscribers to over 13,000. And yes, I am the King of the North. If you ever heard that term going around, the YouTuber, the King of the North, the guy with the crown and the shades, that's me. You just land on Torture Talk, the Torture Chamber, the King of the North. I might change the name to the King of the North. So don't be surprised. Just for one day, though. So look, we're going to get into this clip, and we're going to be back to discuss. You know what it is. All right, here we go. All right, so let's get it, man. Links will be in the description. You know what it is. So let's go.
Drake album done right. GNX is a Drake album done right. Let me explain what I mean. Something felt off to me the entire time that I was listening to this album, and I couldn't place it. I'm like, this is my favorite rapper releasing a new album. Why doesn't this feel the same as his other stuff? And then it hit me. GNX has more in common with Aubrey's work than it does Kendrick's. Number one, recycle.
How do I feel about that? I could kind of understand what he means by that. GNX is definitely more out of place than Kendrick's discography. If you really look at it, it's not really the same as Mr. Morale, or it's not the same as Good Kid, Mad City, or To Pimp a Butterfly, especially To Pimp a Butterfly. So GNX definitely is something that is out of the ordinary. So I can understand why he said that.
The beat of a previous hit. And then it hit me. GNX has more in common with Aubrey's work than it does Kendrick's. Number one, recycling the beat of a previous hit.
Mustard on the beat, ho, Debo, any rap nigga, he a freak though. Woke up looking for the broccoli. High key, keep a horn on me, that could my seat. Say now, I done slid on they back street. Niggas laying on they deathbed trying to match me.
Need you a man, baby, I don't understand, baby. Pay your bill and make you feel protected like I can, baby.
Man down, call her Amber Lambs, tell him breathe, bro.
This is something Drake does a lot. If One Dance goes number one.
I guess I could kind of understand him saying that. I don't think he actually recycled the beat. It was more of the tempo of the beat. It wasn't the structure of the beat. It was just the tempo, kick, snare, din, 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 din. Is that, what BPM is that? Is that? It's like 82, 83. Din. Yeah, that's what that is. So, yeah, I understand why he's saying that. But it's more of the tempo and not actually the structure. So
get ready to hear 7 more iterations of One Dance over the next few years. Number two, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it feels kind of low effort. I'm not talking about as low effort as Drake, who would happily release a whole album of white noise with zero remorse if he knew that it would get streams, which it probably would. I'm talking about low effort by Kendrick standards, which basically means still better than 99% of the industry, to be honest. All
right, so that's actually a really good point that he's making. I don't think that it's more of a low effort. I think everything Kendrick does is actually at a high level, but I don't think it's low effort. I think it comes off low effort because it's more straight to the point. It's more dumbed down. But is it really straight to the point? Is it really dumbed down? Because if you think about it, GNX is a very complicated album. I won't say complicated, but it's more complex than most albums you would hear if you listen to what he's talking about and certain things that is being said that are more of like a jigsaw puzzle than anything, if you get what I mean. But I understand exactly what he's talking about when he say low effort, but I don't think it's more of low effort when it comes to Kendrick. They're low effort, but it's more on the side of it's actually I would say it's actually high level, but it's it's dumbed down so people can get it. And maybe to some people it's low effort because it's not as complex as the other albums, I would say.
This is Beethoven's lesser works. What I mean is, it's not really a concept album like he's done before. It's his shortest release by far, and it just has this disposable quality to it. Like from track 1, he's already beefing with the most dime a dozen comedy podcast host people. I had to use Google for this shit, really. I was like, what? Explain to me the drama now.
Okay, so I disagree with that. I don't think that album is disposable. I think what it is, and this is the reason why when he say low effort, when he say number 2, the reason why I believe that I believe he a lot of this stuff he don't understand. Now he might be a musician, but that doesn't mean just because you're a musician you understand everything. I think by him calling it low effort is because he's so used to the complex part of Kendrick. But when you listen to there's a lot of stuff in that album that a lot of people didn't catch. And I think that that's how you do things so masterfully, like what Kendrick did. In GNX, there's a lot of subliminal messaging in that album that a lot of people didn't even catch. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, a whole lot, and it's probably as just as much as the other albums. But it's hot, it's hidden so well, it's hidden. So when he said disposable, I definitely don't agree with this album is disposable. And I know he doesn't mean like it's disposable like he's throwing the album out. Like more on the lines of compared to his other work, this would be throwaways. That's what he's basically saying.
It's just one of those bars that people are going to listen to in 6 months and it's already dated. It's not exactly a timeless line. Then there's the fact that there's honestly just tons of evidence that he's made this album extremely quickly, that it was like a recent decision. And make no mistake, for an album that was rushed out, it is shockingly good. I'm not calling the album late.
So then that point doesn't make a difference then. Because someone releases an album and it's shockingly good to you, I mean, I just don't understand why you would make that point or point that out that the album is good. Kendrick is an artist. If he does music, whether he do it in 2 years or whether he do a music in I don't know 5 months, there's nothing you can really say. You know what I'm saying? So I get what he's saying, but at the same time, I just disagree with what he's saying. Oh, he felt like it was rushed. Like I don't feel like it was rushed. I felt like it was something that he did, and that was it. Like I don't feel like, oh man, I gotta run this out there now. Because that was the case, I think he would have been put the album out. He would have put the album out when he was at the height of the beef with Drake, when everybody was asking for it. That's what I believe.
It's got a handful of songs that I genuinely love, but I think even diehard fans would acknowledge it is no Mr. Morale, it is no To Pimp a Butterfly, it's not on that level. Number 3, it uses the victory of a recent high-profile rap beef as a marketing strategy. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it would be dumb not to. If you're hot off the tails of a beef where you just came out looking great, strike while the iron's hot, I get it. My point is, this is something Drake has done before with Meek Mill, and something he thought he was about to do with Pusha T. We all know how that ended. Number 4, it's being released under Kendrick's own personal record label. This is something that is a first for Kendrick, but something that Drake has done consistently since 2012. Number 5, and this might be the most...
Drake, I don't know about that. Drake has released his own album under... I don't know. I don't think that's true. I don't think Drake has released an album under his OVO sound since 2012. Under his own label. I think that he was still signed to someone else at the time, and he was involved with other people. I don't think he actually had he was signed to his own label, OVO sound. I don't, at least maybe I'm missing. Maybe it was a part of it, but I don't think that Drake was releasing music under his own OVO sound without nobody else. I don't think that that's the case. In fact, I kind of know that that's not the case. Now, as far as what's the name goes, as far as the beef during the marketing strat, I don't think that that's that either, because I believe that if that was the case, then Kendrick would have released this album. He would have released this album at the height of the beef if he was using the beef strategy as a marketing tool. I don't think that that's true either. I disagree with that.
Drake thing of all, some of these beats are just so awkward and uncharacteristically sloppy in a way that's the polar opposite of how tightly crafted and specific and like beautifully orchestrated Kendrick's music usually is. It sounds
This right here is exactly how I know he don't really understand West Coast sound. When he said that it's awkwardly sloppy, he don't understand like the hyphy, the as far as the Bay Area sound. The Bay Area sound is like that. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. So when he says that, I mean, maybe he knows a little bit more when it comes to certain things, but I could almost guarantee you he probably don't really understand the bass sound. By him saying it's awkwardly sloppy, like, and he's a musician, so musicians usually tend to, because I'm a beat maker, so usually beat makers, we tend to follow the script, but sometimes people go off script, and when they go off script, you usually say they're sloppy. Like Timberland used to go off script, and people used to say about Timberland, oh, they didn't like his beats. Now he's one of the greatest producers of all time. Usually, if you look at all of the producers, from Timberland to Dre to Neptunes to Just Blaze, they all usually go off script. But when you think about it, there are some of the greatest beat makers of all time. So when he say awkwardly sloppy, it's kind of like, I ain't gonna say it's not really disrespectful, but it's kind of like you don't know what they were trying to reach for when you say that it's awkwardly sloppy. Maybe to you because you got a piano in the background, so obviously you are a traditional musician, but you won't play certain keys with certain keys. You just wouldn't do that because it's embedded in you to play it this way. You know what I'm saying? So I get it why he's saying awkwardly sloppy, but at the same time, that's the challenging, or that's the part when people have to realize when you doing music, when you making beats, sometimes it's good to go that way because you can create something that most people don't, wouldn't even listen to at first. So
like a lot of first takes to me. It's like, okay, we got it. Move on to the next thing. Like, we're cranking this out. Get it out before the Super Bowl. Go, go, go. He's got his team working overtime. They're
Daddy issues all across my head. Told me fuck a foul. I'm teary-eyed. Wanna throw my hands. I won't think out loud. What the fuck happened?
Despite having a lot of the same crew, a same production team as To Pimp a Butterfly, that GNX title track reaches levels of shittiness that you would expect from Drake's worst moments.
See, I totally disagree. See, this is what I mean. Like, you saying the GNX title track, right? That because the beat is awkward to you, right? But when you listen to the song, see, the thing about production, right? I've been producing for a long time. The thing about production is a lot of times traditional producers or traditional musicians, they hate beats like that. Like they don't like when beats are put into a position where they feel like things are clashing. Like one of my cousins is like that. My cousin, he's like that. Like he don't like when you hit the bass a certain way, or he don't like when you push something down. It's like, oh no, it's supposed to be like this. It has to be like this. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how he was when it came to making beats. But most of the beat makers who make beats, they usually try to do something a little bit different. And I think that the GNX beat, when I first heard it, I didn't like it. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. I didn't like it. But as I start listening to it, I realize it goes exactly what the song is calling for. So if you say that it reaches levels of shittiness, it's what the song is calling for. The song is calling for that. Tell him Kendrick did it. Gotta run a blitz. Tell him Kendrick did it. That's what it's running for. if you was to put any other beat with that, it probably wouldn't even, the song probably wouldn't be fire. That song is pretty fire, but it wouldn't be fire if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. No, that's, that's not the same. First of all, those beats are not the same. They're not even the same tempo. They're not even the same. That's a running kick and a running snare with the kick. It's totally different from that. Honestly, that GNX beat is probably pretty hard to make versus this beat. That beat is very easy to make. The GNX beat is probably harder to make. You know what I'm saying? Because it's two tempos running at the same time. Because you could rap two different ways on a GNX beat. There's one where the kick is running at, I think, a 4/4, and then the snare is running at I believe a 4/8 or a 3/4. So it's two different. It's not the same. You know what I'm saying? It's just not the same. If one is off, it's kind of offset. This is just basically that 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 that, and you just add sounds that. That's it. That's what that is.
Number 6, and this is a big one, he has employed a non-hip hop producer, Jack Antonoff, to give the album a wider pop appeal. Someone who reliably churns out radio hits. This man cannot be stopped. I mean, seriously, this is the guy that produced like this.
What does that have to do with anything, though? Like it's like some of these criticisms, like that one right there, I just don't think that even. Who cares? Like, why does that even matter? Like, why does it even matter? It's still a hip hop album and it's fire. But I guess his whole argument is like he's trying to make it more appealing, but it's more appealing to the masses and it's a street album. So I don't know. I don't see why he wouldn't bring that up. I don't know why. The album, and to me, honestly, it would probably lean more towards Jack Antonoff doing more what Kendrick wanted him to do instead of him doing more what Jack Antonoff wanted to do. So that's what I'm
soundtrack of the Minions movie. It's just this weird clash of Kendrick presenting himself and branding himself as like this second coming savior of hip hop, and then working with the guy.
I'm gonna tell you right now. A lot of y'all, and I hate to say this, but a lot of y'all white podcasters and a lot of y'all white, y'all love to say Kendrick presenting himself as a savior. It's like I don't know if I don't know if y'all feel some type of way about this. I don't know what it is, but most of y'all all say the same thing. And it's always the white guys. It's always the white guys. They always say the same thing. Oh, he presents himself as this savior or this messiah. What do you mean? Like, I don't get that whole point. I don't understand. And this is the fourth white podcaster that I have seen that said the same thing. Like, and it's like, okay, so if he's working with Jack Antonoff, he can't present himself as a messiah? like, what's the point of that? Oh, he can't work with Jack Antonoff because he's presenting himself as a messiah. And since he presented himself as a messiah, he worked with pop artists. So he can't work with him because Kendrick is different. He can't expand. Like, that's stupid. That's stupid.
Who's like,
I am going to be a super villain.
this world is mine for the. Like, was Kendrick watching the Minions in the theater with his kids when he got the idea to work with Jack Antonoff? Like, I don't want to make too much fun of this guy because I thought 616 in LA was fucking awesome. So finally,
what's your point then? If everything he worked with Jack was great, why does it matter? like this is what I'm saying. It's like, okay, so 616 in LA was, to me, was classic. That most people saying that was the best out of all of the joints. And he worked with Jack Antonoff on that. So the album, he worked with Jack Antonoff. You said that you liked the album. So why does it matter if you like the music? Just admit that you like Jack Antonoff working with Kendrick. You're trying to make it seem like, oh, he's making radio-friendly songs. Kendrick has radio-friendly songs already. What are you talking about? He has them already. He has radio-friendly songs. He has a lot of radio-friendly songs. And who really listens to the radio anymore? Let me be honest with you.
Number 7, this is a real simple one. He just kind of sounds like Drake sometimes.
White diamonds, 2 a.m. she wildin'. Bitches sick, got they stomach in her comments.
That sleepy kind of mumbly thing that he's doing, it just reminds me of something.
There's a bunch of songs where he did that already. He did that with Rihanna. He did that on I wanna love it, I wanna love you, you love me. He did that. What are you talking about? like what are you talking about? You say you heard these albums, bro. Like, what are you talking about? He literally did that on a couple of albums already. Like, what are you saying? Like, I don't get that. I don't get that. He sounds like Drake. Like, what? Like, come on, bro. Stop, bro.
Drake would do. This is not a criticism, you know, it sounds nice, but there it is. But here's the most important part and the moment that I actually realized what this album is. Because in many ways, Kendrick actually did the opposite of what Drake would have done. It's like everything that he hated about Drake, he said, I'm gonna lead by example and just do the fucking opposite of everything this guy stands for. Drake rips his style and lyrics from smaller artists. Kendrick uses his album as a platform to promote West Coast up-and-comers. Drake disrespects Tupac's legacy.
How you even... Bro, come on. That was a reach. That first one was a reach. That was a reach. So so Drake rips off artists, so Kendrick did the opposite. He put small artists. Come on, bro. I don't know how you connected that, but it is what it is. That was crazy.
Style and lyrics from smaller artists. Kendrick uses his album as a platform to promote West Coast up-and-comers. Drake disrespects Tupac's legacy. Kendrick uses a Tupac sample and expands lyrically on the themes of his late career. Drake downplays how much The Weeknd contributed.
I don't know where you got that from. You said he expands how he went on in his career. No, that song wasn't about that. But let's keep it going. Let me run that back. Let me make sure he's what he said.
Tupac's legacy. Kendrick uses a Tupac sample and expands lyrically on the themes of his late career. Drake downplays how much The Weeknd contributed to Take Care. Kendrick said, I'm going to scream the name of the man who produced this song from the goddamn mountains.
That's a reach, bro. That's a reach. First of all, that's a reach, bro. That's a reach. Drake's downplaying The Weeknd, and he's saying he's gonna scream. That's a reach, bro. Oh my God, that's a reach. That's a reach.
These two are different dudes. Drake's a cynical culture vulture. Kendrick raps from the perspective of John Lee Hooker and Billie Holiday, connecting himself spiritually to Black history. Drake made
those joints, even though he's saying those names, they just looked that up. I've been doing some research. He wasn't talking about either one of them, to be honest with you. It was just close to that because that happened, but the John Lee Hooker thing, he definitely wasn't talking about because he wasn't from where Kendrick said that he grew up from. And he said, I got a whole breakdown of that song. I'm not even going to talk about it right now.
Slime You Out with SZA.
Whipped and changed you like American slave.
Kendrick made Luther with SZA. Drake permanently ended the half-century-long tradition of engaging with Black issues in your lyrics as a rapper. So Kendrick made an album that has all of the pop viability of Drake, with none of the political compromise.
I never lost who I am for a rap image. Here's motivation if you wonder how I did it.
This beef was never about defeating Drake. It was about taking his place and demonstrating to the culture what he should have been this whole time. the role that he should have filled from day one. GNX is just a Drake album done right.
Squabble up.
I don't know about this video. I'll be honest with y'all. I kind of disagree with a lot of stuff he said, and I don't think that this is a Kendrick album, a Drake album done right. I don't think that Drake can make an album like this. And in what album would you compare this to say that this is an album, a Drake album done right? But let's get it. Yeah, I kind of disagree with that video. I don't think that that's a. I mean, some of the points he was making, I think he was reaching in a lot of that stuff. It was a good video altogether, but it was a lot of reaching. It's like, bro, you saying some things like, oh, because he worked with Jack Antonoff now, and he feel like he some of the I don't know. It just wasn't, to me. It just wasn't hitting. You know what I'm saying? I am gonna obviously I'm gonna tag him in the video. And I want everybody to go watch it for themselves. But yeah, I disagree. Either way, man, you know what it is. Have yourself a good morning. Out of here. See y'all. Peace. Bye. Know what it is.